Hello, yellow. Alright. So, we had a interesting stretch of a few episodes, but hopefully I'll be a little bit more tempered this time with my expectations. So if I get stuck again, so be it. If I solve a lot of puzzles, then sure, that's nice. As you can see, I still have not reclaimed a par time on this level. I have received word that it is in fact based on a pre-existing puzzle called Klotsky, and it's also apparently solvable without any of the packing shenanigans I did, which makes sense, although if there is a way to do it, then I cannot figure it out, because I had tried like a version of it on like a web browser, just a port someone did, and even then I could not figure out how to move the pieces. But that aside, let's start with pools. Alright, so we've got another rubber band level. Alright, and not the type that resets you, so that's nice. Of course, doesn't mean I can't still die like a fool. Alright, yeah, actually, yeah, we don't have to be so forceful about it. Although, if I lose all my lives, then that's kind of a bummer. Let's actually... I'm going to press my arrow keys to change my mouse speed. So now I can be a little bit more forceful with it. I don't have to do as rigorous of a motion. Oh, that one down there is kind of hard to get. Alright, so I'm going to bump that. And then I guess I'll go around here. Sure, level finished. Alright, so mouse speed 8. Alright, what's this one called? Push Your Way by Siegfried. Okay. Interesting. There's... Oh, I do not like this floor tile. This is a very slippery, like low adhesion floor tile. And low friction too. So we got red and blue. What's going on here? It's like... I noticed that the walls are, like, they have the texture of what would normally be the pushable block, but they don't have the, like, oomph noise. Not sure if that's, like... I don't know what to make of it. Anyways, so we got stuff here. Can we push these? Okay, we can. So maybe it's just it's the brown block that makes the, like, bump noise. These ones make the metallic clang sound. So, what's going on here? We got stuff. Stuff is happening. So is there a way to get... I'm gonna bump this down. An empty note. Mildly threatening. Oh, here we go. I was wondering where the magic one was, because we got puzzle blocks. Okay, so now where things get interesting. So we need to make ourselves effectively a pathway across. I'm pretty sure I might have a way to do that. I'm going to make an L shape. Actually, can I not just, like, do that, switch off of magic wand, and go down here? It looks like I can. Okay. Sure, level finished. Bizarre, but we take those. So yeah, even a pretty forgiving par time, all I have to do is be fast about it, and presumably get good Oxid luck. Yeah, Intelligence 3. Well, yeah, intelligence 3 isn't that high a threshold, so that makes sense. Alright, Turn Around by Andreas Lockman. Alright, so now we've got yellow puzzle stones. Just a hint, try the easy mode first. Okay. If you say so. Don't think too long, it's easy. Alright, so we've got a puzzle stone set up. And, right. So, oh, interesting. Okay, right, that does make sense. So, using these, things, using these hollows, not sure what else to call them, we can effectively... we can insert blocks and make ourselves like a train of sorts. So if we do like... of course, if I overcompensate, then I have to do annoying stuff. Actually, when something gets trapped on the edges, I think it gets pretty properly locked into place. Yeah, that is actually slightly worrisome. So, I'm going to go back to the hard mode. So the difference here is that we have fewer holes to work with. In fact, we have just enough holes to, excuse me. Just enough holes to barely touch every single block. So I think what is going on here is I want to delegate 3 of them to the inside of the square where I can move them at will, and only one of them will be camping the outside. So let's try bumping you up there. So that will be the outer one. Now, let's move you out of the way. You can go there. You can go there. And now we need to... bump you there. Alright, so we've created a rod of 4. Or, well, about to, at least. And we can carefully move it around at will. Of course, I'll have to be careful to not accidentally hit things. Okay, so we got red, pink, blue, black. Alright. So now to move this down, we're going to do this to shuffle these down. And if we shuffle those down another time, then we lose the puzzle, so we want to be careful. So, to transfer this down, we simply do something like this. Oh, right. Okay, so we need to do it from the, not the middle row or column, because that block in the middle that's empty is breaking the chain, so to speak. I'm not sure if there's a way for the other puzzle blocks to connect and form like an exploding structure. Okay, well we can get a red match at least. Going to just check these out again. So yellow, white, cyan, red. So let's hit red. Sure, you can go there. These can go here. That can go there. Actually, okay, another thing I did not realize. When something's trapped in the corner, it's super incapable of movement. Like, it becomes locked on 2 degrees of freedom instead of just locked on 1. So this is a reset state, is basically the gist of it. Now, I'm going to read the docs again. I want to see if yellow puzzle stones have a response if they're all connected. So this will be a second. So let me mute real quick, and remember to unmute when I get back into the game this time. Okay, I got the information that I desired. So blue puzzle stones require a magic wand hit to explode, but yellow puzzle stones simply require an actor to hit them. So now the question becomes, how do we create a full connected shape here? We have one of each of the corner pieces. Then we've got a bunch of row and column pieces. And then we have a bunch of T-junctions and a bunch of cross shapes, and then some hollow cross shapes as well. So, trying to think. I guess the issue is the space in the middle. That's the issue. Because I'm pretty sure there isn't actually any sort of well, okay, let's not make presumptions just yet. Like, there's no way you can make a shape that connects in the middle, but that doesn't necessarily mean that a complete shape wouldn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here. I'm going to insert that there. I'm going to insert that there. Alright, so next up, right, I keep forgetting about that annoying piece. So, sure, let's move this down. So now how do we move thing? So we can do something like that. So now that corner piece is down there. Let's also work on okay. So let's insert this into this column and shift these up a bit. So now they're out of the way. And just as a reminder, I'm purely experimenting right now. Alright, so now, if we do this, so we've got all these different corner pieces now. So we put this here. We're going to need to replace a T-junction with a horizontal piece. And I've gone and made life harder for myself by putting this up here. Alright, so back to what I was saying before. We're going to replace the T-junction with a horizontal. And just to get an idea of my end goal, I'm just going to create a single connected square. So that looks like that. Then we move this back around. So we'll do this. We shuffle like that. And now we need to move this out of the way. So let's do this for a second. And then move a vertical piece into place like this. If I can hit it the right number of times. Alright, so now we do this and this. So this is a fully connected piece. It does not explode. Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. I'm sure the easy mode, like, since the middle piece has potential for being connected, you probably can explode the entire structure in that version, but in this one at least, it looks like we'll have to do things the hard way. So, back to matching 16 oxides. So, you can be pushed over there temporarily. Then this moves down here. This moves over here. Gotta be careful. And we gotta make sure not to push anything into the corners where that's bad. I'm pretty sure if no. So a hit on puzzle stones from like in the inside of like a hollow block like this, I think it starts the shuffle like from where the marble hits. So anything to the left or right of me wouldn't be counted if I hit the other side. Anyways, let's memorize these. So blue, black, yellow, pink. All right. Blue, black, yellow, pink. And we have to move it farther out, because of course. So, blue, black, yellow, pink. Alright, got a match there. Alright, might as well get a black match. So, back to doing what we were doing before, but the other way around. I messed up. Alright, that is modestly annoying. I might have to, like, really take my time with that one. It says the par is 5 minutes, which is interesting. But let's see if it's possible to create, like, a complete structure here. So what that would look like is the 4 corner pieces go on the corners. Yeah, that makes sense. Just flip which corner is which so that they connect properly. And then, yeah. Okay, so it's basically just like replace every tile with its inverse. So you flip the corners 180 degrees. You rotate the bars 90. You flip the T-junctions. And then the holes can just remain where the holes are. So that makes sense, to me at least. So now how do we do that? Sounds like a pretty complicated shuffle. Let's do something like this. This might actually be just a little bit complicated to wrap my brain around. And again, we have to be careful of the intersection pieces, because once they become bound to the edges and the corners, we can't move them anymore. And that specifically counts as a lose state. So I think what I actually want to do is, well, actually moving them anywhere is fine as long as it's not the corners, but basically we can play a game with the outer pieces. like the outer ring of pieces is fully within our purview to change as we want. So that would look something like... I mean, I might as well do it. If I'm making moves, that's better than making no moves at all. So... there we go. There's one corner in place. So now we need to move another corner in place. So that's two corners. All right, now for the other corners, I guess we need to move them to their corresponding side, but then just have them queued up so that we can act on the rows independently again. And the bottom connection is directly above the top connection in the rotation. So what we want to do is we want to move this down here, and then move this here. Then we'll move these out of the way so that we can move these corners back in place. And then finally, so that's the four corners solved. Of course, that's nowhere close to done, but it's a start. So let me count. How many of each piece do we got? We've got 3 of each T-junction. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 20 of each bar, vertical and horizontal. Then we got 9 cross pieces. Sure, that makes sense. Sorry about that, my hair is just getting in the way. Okay, so, indeed. Sort of losing myself here, but I think we need to start... Let's try inserting horizontal bars into the places where they need to go, which looks something like that, and that, and that. Then we insert another one like that, if I can hit it the right number of times, which is always difficult. Now, to do that for the other side, it seems like it'll be a little bit more difficult. How would we do this? Because the main issue is that moving one bar into place will move the other bar in that same column out of place. So we need the bars to be vertically adjacent. So there's a preliminary step, I guess, where we need to have I guess, like, we'll queue up the bars there. And then we'll do a move like this to queue up bars in like these places. Although I'm not sure if that's very productive right now. Yeah, this is kind of a hot mess. Well, okay. So here's the thing. As long as we have the right number of pieces in the outer ring, we can solve the outer ring again whenever we want to. So let's consider the outer ring to be the last step of the puzzle, and solving the inner part of this whole shape to be the primary objective. So how that works is let's reset. So basically what we want to do I guess let's just play around with sort of generalized shapes. So there's all of the vertical bars, and the vertical bars are they're almost where they ought to be. So now let's do another shuffle, which looks something like this. Okay. So now all of the vertical bars are in place where they should be. And then we do this. And if we move these back into place... Okay, this is promising. So now we have a full connected shape there. And now let's see if we can't try to solve the outer ring. So how do we do that? So let's see. We'll go ahead and shuffle like this. Insert you there. You can go over to that side. I'll even nudge you down a bit. And then the other corner piece can go over there. Move you out of the way. Okay, then with one bump down, those corner pieces are in place, and those corner pieces are in place. So that's neat, but not quite where we want to be with this. So we need to think in terms of, like, how are we allowed to move the pieces in a way that gives us more progress than it loses? Like, we need a method for this. For inserting pieces just moving along this ring. I guess here's something. If we move something, like, if we temporarily queue something here by, like, pushing it up, then we can effectively rotate the row and insert it into a place where it should be. Okay, so we have a method for inserting pieces where they should be. So let's try to focus on I guess the more important pieces to solve first are the T-junctions, because they're sort of all over the place right now. Corner pieces are also sort of important, but we can shuffle them as necessary. So how do we do said shuffle? So I guess first thing we can do is, since the upwards T's are mostly in place already, we can do something like this. In fact, we don't have to be spacing them out like this. So let's just do that. Then move them down there. And now we space them out once it's important to place them. So, oops, but that's fixable. Okay. So the upwards T-junctions are where they need to be. So what next? I guess now let's solve we can place the bottom T-junctions, I guess. So let's do this. So that's 2 of them placed. And like that, now the bottom T's are in place, or the downwards facing, I guess. So now we need to move the left ones over to the right, and the right ones over to the left. So we can do that by queuing things like this, and also like this. So that's queued there now, and we'll also queue that there. Okay, so where's the other left? It's up there. So let's go ahead and move that up. And now that's queued over there. So now let's work on getting the right facing ones to their home. So that looks something like, well, actually, let's get this one to its home first. So you can go there. So all the right pieces are in their homes now. So now we'll just be shuffling these like this. So now these are in their homes. Let's see if we can't actually do a sort of extra step of shuffling. So when there aren't any other T pieces, I think we're safe to sort of do this and already have them start to like line up. So that's 2 of those placed. And now if we do this, hit it another time from the other side, since collisions in this game are unwieldy. Alright, so now we want to move this one all the way over to here, which looks as simple as that. So that's the right T's placed. And now all we have left to do is let's separate these 2. We'll offset you like that, and then create an extra separation there. We haven't messed up any other T pieces. So now that's the rights in place. So those are in place. And now those are in place. And for our final trick, those are in place. So all of the T-junctions are in position. So now all that's left is placing the corners and the side pieces. And we do sort of have the tech to do that. Of course, it'll be a bit of a journey, but we can use our queuing tech. So we can insert something into a different position on the row or column. So I think we need to get in order for inserting on a row and column basis to be good, we need to have the right number of pieces on said row and column. So we want to focus on shuffling the bar pieces and the corner pieces into the right rows and columns such that the count is correct without messing up the T pieces. So that looks something like, we need to move all these horizontals out of the way and a lot of the verticals out of the way too. So let's put a horizontal here, and then move everything back into position. So that's one thing placed. So now let's do the same with the other side. Then we move this back into place, and move this back into place. All right, so that's a little bit more done. So now we still need to do some pretty hard work, but trying to think. We still need to move these two horizontals into the bottom row. So that's work we still have to do. And I think the best place to insert them is probably right here. So this seems right so far. If we move everything back real quick, then that's like that. Okay, so sort of getting there. So now we have one last horizontal to place, and it's over here. So let's move this into place. Then we just insert the horizontal here. All right. And then we can move this back down. All right, so everything's almost in place. So now we just need to shuffle the corners in a way that's nice. So how do we do that? Well, firstly, we need to get the corners in the right rows and columns, as we mentioned before. We can still use some insertion tech, I think, as long as we don't mess up the rows and columns. Still going to be a bit tricky. So we need to get this all the way to the opposite side for starters. And also need to get this to the top left. Alright, well, I guess let's try something like this. So that puts those into place. Then we can shift like that, and that's one corner placed. And now we can do this, 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 to swap those without causing any lasting damage. Then we can swap this around to here. Insert this. And also this, I guess. And then if we can put this up here. So now we're super close to done, I think. So now we just need to fix the corners here. So how do we do that? I guess let's do that by moving this corner here. Then we do this. Or maybe not. Okay, let's do our insertion tech on a row basis, since we do have the option to do that now. So the thing we want to move is this. So we temporarily... there is sort of a problem with doing that, actually, because it puts the T-junction on the other side in a position on this row, which is volatile to move. So that's not quite going to work as anticipated. But how do we get this corner piece out from between these two? I'll just think on it for a little bit. Alright, well actually here's something. So, let's say that we just arbitrarily pick like one row and one column to act on. So let's say like this row and this column. As long as we only act on those two specifically, then the number of pieces will still be right as we act on those. And we'll have two sort of like separate degrees of insertion freedom. Of course, it'll probably be a little bit complicated for me to mentally like parse, but I think it should be a viable way to solve the puzzle and connect everything. So we're going to like how will this work? Because if we do like a simple single queue, like we queue things up on like one row and then reinsert them later, that does sort of mess things up with the row that we're inserting them into, or like queuing them into. So trying to get an idea for where everything should be positioned. So this needs to move one up, and this needs to move underneath where this needs to be. I guess let's just sort of try it. Another something that's sort of dangerous is that yeah, if we move this left right now, then that slots the other corner to be moved out of place. Not sure how to quite handle this yet. Huh. You wouldn't think this would be so troublesome, but I guess here's another sort of like spurious thought. What if there's like sort of like a diagonal shuffle we can do, like alternating right and up, just sort of without loss of generality, and inserting pieces at certain gaps such that once we've shuffled enough times, eventually it all comes out Millhouse. So, now importantly, we do have pieces which are technically interchangeable. Like, as long as we do like an even number of moves in such a way that like, let's say that one of the pieces that we're moving out of place, so to speak, is like a bar piece, and then let's say that we move like another one into its place. Not sure if that's actually a good idea. It's hard to think about. Alright, back to silent mode. Okay, I do note that we did have a fair degree of success when we had more tools at our disposal rather than fewer. I'm wondering if maybe there's a safe setup which involves like using 2 rows in a column. Maybe, actually. Alright. So, trying to think, what would this look like? Just sort of like systematic shuffling. So we'd move this into position like this. So that's those pieces solved. Actually, wait a minute. Am I just on track here? Like, if we do this, and then where is... Right, so here's the piece that we want to move. So we just want to swap two pieces. Precisely two pieces, and then we're good. Does it just look like this? Hold on. Not quite. Okay, so maybe we like... do this. Do this. Well, now we just have those two in the absolute opposite locations of where they should be. How do we work this? So let's say we do that. Then we do this. And we swap this in here. And then so now we've got those two that need to be swapped. And now we need to swap these two adjacent pieces once more. Alright, so let's try... We're going to use the bottom two now, I guess. So let's do this. No, but now that corner piece is out of place. So even if we did this, now we just have a swapping to do here. Puppy moment. Alright, I've had a different idea. I think in order to train myself to be able to like understand how this shuffle's gonna work, I think I need to create some smaller cases to get practice and like understand an algorithm first, or at least the properties of like what permutations it can have. So I'm going to open up Paint and try to get something set up in that. Alright, I was just sort of doodling and dawdling in here. Let me go back to, like, get it to set up to scroll. That's sort of important. Even if it clips off the edge, but... Okay. So if we have, like, 1, 2, 3, like this, then we can exchange two elements pretty quickly, either on the row or the column. So we could go either 2, 1, 3, or 1, 3, 2, at which point we could either go back here, or we could go to, let's see, 2, 3, 1, or 3, 1, 2, and again we could undo those, or we could do 3, 2, 1, or 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there is a way to seemingly create a lot of permutations like that, although that's only with 3 elements. And of course, any state you can reach, you can also back traverse it. So that's important to know. So these are invertible operations. So now let's try with let's say 1A. No, okay, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to somehow reach 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. How would we do such a thing? I guess, okay. So this is reachable from any state where, like in this column or in this row, the ordering is like 1, 2, 3, or 3, 5, 4 in a certain row or column. So how do we change the ordering of things? And is there a rule to how we can change the ordering of things? So puppies are going silly again. Okay. Trying to think. Numbering these instead of using letters might not be the best move, but since, like, the idea of establishing an order, it's not really in the numerical sense. Like, it's not like a least to greatest sort of thing. It's just like, are these in the correct order to be, like, shuffled, rotated into the right position, is, I guess, the type of order I'm going for here. And I'm sure there's a mathematical term for it. You're free to let me know. I just don't know what that's called. And I'm sure there's tons of algorithms online for, like, puzzles of this nature. Anyways, I guess let's think about it just again in terms of like singular operations. So we do have 4 different moves here. We can either do a right or a left shuffle. So this would be 3, 1, 2, 4, 5. Or, I guess, you could see it as a back shuffle or just 2 right shuffles, which is probably the mathematically nicer way to look at it, since you don't have to think about left shuffles anymore. You just have 2 operations like right shuffle and up shuffle. So that's maybe nice. Anyways, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5. Then we have 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. Then we have, let's say, an up shuffle. Or would it right? Like, if we're doing right shuffles, then yeah, an up shuffle seems like the nicest. Like, it also looks at the corner, so that'd be nice. So that'd be 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. Or 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. Okay, actually, I guess there is something to think about here. So if we're trying to swap these 2 elements, then we need to break its ordering. Which basically means move, like, if we think about it in terms of, like, we're trying to swap the 5 and the 4, the current issue is that they're always going to be in the right order, so to speak. So we have to remove one of them. Let's try, like, one, 2, 4, 5, 3. Then 4, 1, 2, 5, 3. So now that's like that. So the order is broken, for the time being at least. To reestablish the order, we would then... Yeah, because we are sort of hitting on the same, like, fundamental problem as we have before. Where if we try to just, like, do the cheap method of, like, just directly reinserting the 4 under the 5, then we start to move things out of place. So let's just keep going with it. So 4, 1, 2, 5, 3. Then let's skip ahead a bit to 4, 1, 3, 5, 2. Let's get rid of all this up here. I don't think we're going to be using that space for much. So move this up here. So now we're going to try to reinsert the 4 and see what happens. So this goes to 1, 3, 4, 5, 2. So now we can shuffle this again, but now we get 1, 3, 2, 5, 4. And that's 2 different elements, which are in a certain ways of sorts. So okay. So maybe there's like an invariant going on here where you cannot, like, when you're dealing with something which is longer than just a 2x2, there's no way to swap just one pair. Like maybe you have to swap two pairs, which would make a modicum of sense, although I'm not going to take it for a fact or even try to prove it because I'm not sure if I have the time. But that does lead me to thinking about something, which is, let's look at what particularly got swapped. So the 5 got swapped with the 4, and the 3 got swapped with the 2. So normally this would be a loose state, but let's say that the 3 and the 2 are the same thing. If they are the same thing, then if we were to perform this operation, like from this state, but these 3 and the 5 are the same. Or wait, no. The 3 and the 2 are the same. So this piece equals this piece. Or I guess this piece equals this piece. So there are instances in our puzzle where there are repeat pieces, which are the T-junctions as well as the horizontal and vertical bars. Let's increase the dimensions by 1. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how would we swap the 4 and the 5 here? So if we do like goodness, this is hard to keep mental track of, but 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, 7. And then we fast forward to 2, 3, 4, 1. No. 2, 3, 4. Like, we're trying to swap these two. So, 2, 3, 4. Then we'd shovel the 5 up 2. So that would be 6, 7, 1, 5. Then that would become 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 1, 5. Then we get the 1 back in place. So 6, 2, 3, 1, 5, 4, 7. Then we try to return the 1 to position. Or actually, no. Let's return the 5 and the 4 to position. So that would look like 5, 4, 7, 1. Okay, so what got swapped in doing all of this? The 6, the 1, and the 7 all got swapped in like a triad. So 7 normally should be here. 1 should normally be here. and 6 should normally be there. So these got swapped in like a triplet. This is so confusing. I wish I was a mathematician right now, and also that I had like 5 extra hours of spare time. I'm not sure how much I learned from doing this. Alright, I'm going to try plan B. And if you're wondering what plan B consists of, let me show you. Because plan B is we just go hog wild until something good happens. Okay, well that's something. That's a move which technically doesn't really have any drawback. It allows us to change the row of something, since those two are already the same piece. Right here, we need the top right corner. And right here, we need the bottom right corner. So that would look like... that goes there. Accidentally bumped those like that. Glad I didn't get them even more out of shape. If I moved those to the sides, that would have been a very unfortunate way to put an end to this puzzle. Alright, so this is shuffled around to there now. Which is almost good. But I think we want to put this into place. We want to swap where the horizontal and vertical are, which is just sort of a theme in this puzzle. But we're back to wanting to swap too, which is better than where we were before, probably. Let's try to get things on the same row again. Okay, so we're back to the version of this puzzle where we want to swap two pieces. So we want to swap this one and this one. So how do we do that? I guess. Okay, so let's try the thing we ignored before, which is queuing up a piece here. Now it puts that T-junction out of place, which is not good. But let's say that we could reinsert that T-junction later. So where did we want to put this? We wanted to put it right there. So we bump it back into place. Oop. Yeah, that's why I get the GBs from moving too fast. Alright, so let's move these back in place before I lose my mind. So we've done a pretty poor job at swapping the pieces so far. Okay, so we've got this vertical piece here. It has been moved into place. And we bump like that. Is this it? I think it's it. Oh my goodness, sweet release. That was a nightmare. Okay. It was a hard-fought victory, but I did get the chicken dinner in the end. Alright, let's just claim the spoils of war. Red match there. Cyan match there. Level finished. Clean 45 minutes. You love to see it. Bungee Ball by Jacob Scott. Do we want to knock out a quickie? Sure, let's knock out a quickie. Why not? So, Bungee Ball. So how does this work? So we've got... Oh, this is fun. Yeah, normally I would, like, stop a session here, but, like, honestly, I'm feeling just knocking out a quickie. Just to, like, have a little something else to show. So we've got all sorts of different rubber band connections. And it looks like our goal is simply to do a meditation solve, which looks something like... So that is doing just fine in there, although I did bump it out, so now it's not anymore. Okay, so this is just doing a bunch of different meditation shenanigans, and yeah, as far as I can see, none of these are pushable. Okay, so let's restart. So you will go... How many balls and how many holes are there? I need to know if the black marble counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the black marble doesn't count. So we need... Huh. Okay, this is interesting, because... Back to mouse speed 15. So, by doing a little, like, modest thwacking, we can get some long shots. Yeah, like that. So if we can get that into that hole, that would be nice. This is sort of a clumsy type of puzzle, but it's fine. Okay, so we got one in the hole. Then that leaves us with this double, which we can pretty nicely stuff in there if we want to. Although it might actually be nicer. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. Actually, yeah, because this hole down here is probably really hard for this one to reach. And same with this one for this one. So we want to solve... Actually, there is sort of a fundamental conflict here. Okay, I think I've got a decent enough solution. So this one will go, if I can hit it the right way. Probably will take a bit of fiddleage. Okay, so that's in there. Now you, if I can try to get you into there. Okay, so that's in there now. Now you two will go over here. We want that one on the extremity to be a little bit farther out. We want that middle one in the top hole, I think. If this thing could go all the way in there, that would be nice. Okay, so that's in there now. Alright, I think that'll just barely work. It's quite intense, but... Get out of the way of that marble, please. I'm sure this is riveting to watch. Alright, so we want to, like, get an upwards hit on this thing. And sort of, like, try to just cradle it into the hole. Unfortunate. But it actually... No, it wouldn't work to get you down there. Alright. Come back out. Can you go in there again, please? Thank you. Alright. You're dislodged again. You'd love to see it. Yeah, so as soon as it gets into the hole, the other one really wants to dislodge. That was close. Too violent, and it goes back. Alright, let's think. Okay, actually, change of plans. So, is it possible... Like, I sort of neglected it, but is there actually a way to get this bottom one to go all the way over there? Because if there is, that saves me a lot of hassle with the doubles. Of course, I need to be able to hit it to the right first, but... Okay, that seems like a low enough tension force. I just need to be able to hit it. Come on. Looking forward to the part-time on this one. It's almost in. Okay, it's in. So now, the top one can go back into this top right hole. That's nice. Alright, so y'all two go in there. I do need to get sort of lucky with how I bounce these around, but... Okay, that's in place. And now we just need a gentle thwack with just the right angle and force. Okay, those two are in place. Alright. Just as planned. I don't want to dislodge that bottom one, if at all possible. Maybe I should have tried to solve this one first before the bottom one. Okay, that's in place. So it looks like these might have different tension forces. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so that's in place. So now, this nonsense. Which, it sure is nonsense. So middle ball is in the hole. Okay. And that one's in the hole. That's not good, but we fixed it. Alright. So now we just need to get a good hit on this thing, which is going to be really, really annoying to do, it seems. But we're just going to have to do it. Almost like a game of billiards. We can make it reach. We just need it to settle. Alright, so setting it up for a low hit seems to be better in the long run. Oh. Nice, level finished. Alright. Pentamino, you can be for next time. Okay. So that was something. I still have yet to solve the hard mode version of this. Oh boy. See you next time.